So you have a friend who is into K-pop and you always hear them talk about
PHOTOCARDS.
Maybe you might have wanted to gift them one for their birthday and look them up online and you might have wondered, what is it even used for? Surely these pictures of people who don't know they exist can only be for looking at and storing, right? If you thought that we look at them for the first 5 minutes we get them and then keep it away in a collection book and forget about it, you thought wrong. This is probably news to the locals, but there in fact exists a K-pop trading card game. It's a TCG just like Vanguard, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Buddy Fight. You might doubt me and think then okay, what are the rules, where are the card stats? Now the stats are missing for two main reasons among others. 1. They're visual. 2. Music show wins, chart numbers etc. actually help determine the stats. The Korean Pop Music Cards Regulation Association is responsible for posting the stats around 2 months after comebacks. Now to explain the bare bones of the game, it's mainly played 1-on-1 but sometimes 2v2 is also done. Each player has a deck and there are certain guidelines regarding deck building. Here are some of the main ones. To introduce the mat, as you can see, only 3 cards can be called at a time. The game area includes a charge zone which can be thought of as similar to the gauge zone in Vanguard. The cards relegated to this zone can be used to power up special abilities in later turns. However, it has certain limitations and intricacies which are beyond the scope of this video. Then is the space for calling cards to the field, and lastly the elimination zone. There are 5 levels any card can be. It has to do with the seniority level of the group at that comeback point. The sum of the levels of cards on your field cannot exceed 10. So if you want to call only level 5s, you can only call 2. Also forgot to mention, but there are certain cards called DD killing cards which are like impact cards in Buddy Fight. There can be 8 killing cards in a deck and they are not players on the field but abilities, and they usually have conditions that should be fulfilled before calling. Some are released by the companies while other ultra rare cards are released by the association such as the Black Ocean. Now onto the gameplay, which is like any other TCG.
Since this is your first time, I'll explain the rules.
Each player starts with 20 life points. They shuffle each other's deck, put 2 cards from their hand to the charge zone and draw 2 new ones. At the start of every turn the player may draw. Like other TCGs, if the attack of the opposing player's card exceeds the defense PF the card being attacked, then that card is eliminated from the field. Taking 20 such cards of the opposing player to the elimination zone leads to victory. However, there exists guards, strategies, special abilities and killing cards which may provide heals and barriers. A key point is the bias card. Basically, at the start of the game the player declares a card their bias card and they take it out and leave it open, revealing it to their opponent. As per the rules of deck building, now that 1 copy is gone, only 1 copy exists in our deck. When this card is drawn, the player can remove 1 card from elimination zone back to their hand, the charge zone or the field if there is space. They can also eliminate 1 card from the opponent field regardless of power or defense. However, it is not mandatory to have a bias card. In private games among friends or even some professional games like the ones held at KCON, it may not be always permitted. In pro games it is always specified beforehand if it is allowed. This video only touched the very surface, tip of the iceberg of the rules, as I am also fairly new to it. There are many intricacies and special abilities that are common knowledge. Maybe I will cover it in future video. Maybe I will not. As I only covered close to 20% of the gameplay experience, you could ask your friends to explain it better or maybe even plow around with them. The rules might seem complicated and even jarring at first, but then again so are the rules for most TCGs. But that is part of why we love them. We can strategize and play to win. But of course winning isn't everything, it is about the friends we make along the way. Ciao and have a great day.